Hi, my name is Andy Wright. I'm part of the team here at Tigera, and we do network security and continuous compliance for Kubernetes platforms. We've spoken to thousands of different Kubernetes users, and we're actively engaged with hundreds of different enterprise accounts, helping them with network security and compliance. And I've learned a few things about the people that we're working with and the common initiatives that I'd like to share with you all today. So we typically go look for a Kubernetes environment being set up. This is when we typically are going to talk to these customers about their compliance stance and how they're doing network security. And the person that we're typically working with is a person who's building a platform. And this can sometimes be called a platform engineer or a systems engineer. Sometimes we see an infrastructure engineer. But the focus is this is a person who's building out a platform for their developers to be able to ship their containers to, and also for the DevOps team to manage those applications. And I'll just go ahead and put platform engineer down here. So what I've learned is this person, the platform engineer who's building the platform, is not so concerned with just Kubernetes. There's a whole series of other decisions that they need to make that are quite complex. For example, they're going to have to think about how does connectivity happen with the environment. And so you've got your networking, and there's some decisions to be made there. They have to figure out how storage is going to work. And then they're going to need to be able to enable the DevOps and the developer teams to actually operate the application. And so they're talking to multiple different vendors, and they're looking at multiple different systems for things like your performance monitoring, when an application crashes, they need to be able to send out information, stack traces, etc., to the developers to understand what went wrong. So they've got crash detection. They also need to be able to secure the network, report on compliance, as well as the security policies. And so we have security and policy within the environment. And across this entire stack, they also need to either build in or integrate with their incident response system. And when these applications are going to be deployed, they're going to need to figure out, how are we going to put together, our CI/CD toolchain, and we're going to have our deployment services. And for those applications being rolled out, if these are microservices, they're also going to need to be able to, have things like canary rollouts, and they're going to need included in here as well a service mesh. So all these things together, what we've heard this called very commonly is this is a CaaS platform, or a container as a service platform. And the platform engineer, being the person who's responsible for putting this together, has a pretty arduous task to research and to understand all these different components, as well as the trade-offs between different vendors, the open source options that are available, while also satisfying the needs of the development team, the DevOps, as well as other teams like your SOC and your NOC and your security teams. And there's not really one central place for this platform builder to get information. And so that's why we've created the CaaS Academy. And this resource is located at caasacademy.io. This is a forum for platform engineers and platform builders to come to learn about all the different elements of the container as a service platform stack, to hear best practices, to see reference architectures. We have our engineers as well as engineers from throughout the ecosystem and other vendors who will be presenting on how their customers implement best practices within this stack. Our hope is that this is a useful resource to help educate platform engineers on the design, the build out, and the proof of concept of your enterprise platforms. Thanks so much.